No vaping here. A local school district is installing new devices in schools to detect when students are vaping in the bathrooms. Channel 3's Brandon Simmons tells us how it plays a role in slowing down the vaping epidemic.
Schools around the country are back in session, and for administrators and parents, vaping is an issue everyone is well aware of.
I see it as a trend and very dangerous.
Kelly Messner has a freshman here at Revere High School, where the district is using technology to curb students who try to vape on school grounds. Scattered around the buildings, you'll find vape detectors.
Vape detectors will hopefully discourage students from engaging in this type of risky behavior.
The sensors detect chemical abnormalities in the air that are released by vaping devices.
So once something is detected either through noise or chemicals, there is a text message that is sent to a prescribed amount of folks that the district decides.
The devices were purchased by a grant from the state attorney general and cost about $1,000 each.
We're trying to find new and innovative ways to really help make children or encourage students to make the best choices they can in terms of their safety and wellness.
And they're not alone. Schools around the country are trying new things. In Texas, students must roll up long sleeves so they can't hide vaping devices. And in Nebraska, some schools test students for nicotine use during extracurricular activities. And like Revere, vape sensors are being used in Illinois and New Jersey. Revere also works closely with parents to educate students about the dangers and consequences of vaping. And parents aren't objecting.
I was really happy when I got the email explaining about the vaping detectors, and I think we have to do everything we can to protect our kids.
Now, Revere Schools is one of the first local school districts to use this sort of system, and assuming it is successful, you'll likely see it used in other districts around the state. In Bath Township, I'm Brandon Simmons, Channel 3 News.
Brandon, thanks.